recorded, right? And let's just do live transcript. So if anybody wants the live transcript, there should be a section on your bar. Is it is enabled? So if you need it, it's there. Okay. So as per my email, as per my email, I've decided that this is going to be the last free monthly call in this format. So for those who are regulars, you will know that I kind of changed the format recently from a healing call into a raise your vibration call. And that was my attempt to sort of change things up and see if it worked. But ultimately, I feel like the resonance for me is slightly started to change. And the reason behind that is, as you may know, the universe has been asking me to start teaching power and to not really be working on healing so much anymore. So I am going to be still offering something that's free. And I'll talk about that in a second. But this monthly call, this is going to be the last one at this time frame for the length of time in this format. Okay, so I just want to say thank you to everyone who has come to these calls. I have really enjoyed them. Just because I'm stopping them doesn't mean I haven't enjoyed them, but the universe is kind of moving me to something else, and so I'm responding to that. So thank you to all my regulars. Really appreciate it, and everyone who's popped in from time to time as well. It's been a really great experience, and so we're just sort of transitioning to like a new kind of thing. So what I've decided to offer instead of this free monthly call is 2 half-an-hour calls, so twice a month, half-an-hour calls, and they are going to be healing power meditations. So rather than a healing call, it's more of a meditation. So it's kind of in the same vibe, but with a healing and power, because healing comes under power as well. Healing power kind of framework, if you like. So 10 minutes of that will be maybe some instruction or some guidance, or some ideas of what we might want to do in the meditation. And then we do a 20-minute meditation. One of the things, so it may be a guided meditation, or we may have a mantra, or it might be a silent meditation. So I'd like to keep that a bit more open, and we'll just see how it feels whenever we do it. And it will probably be Tuesdays. Now, what I wanted to try and get with a show of hands, or a virtual show of hands, if you want, is I have some ideas as to the timings of this, and I'm quite conscious of the fact that we have many people who come in from the UK, and we have lots of people who come in from the US, and we have a few coming in from Europe. So it's quite hard to keep the time frames in sync and keep everyone really happy. So my idea was, so for one of the Tuesdays would be to have UK 1 p.m. So it's a lunchtime UK sort of half-an-hour meditation. That would make it, so I've done the time conversions for everyone. It would make it a 5 a.m., 7 a.m. or 8 p.m. US, depending on your zone timing. And Europe, it would be 2 o'clock. So that's one option, but the one I was favoring was the 12 o'clock. I sort of thought 12 o'clock might be easier, so it can be sort of pre-lunch or just before you start lunch at 12. So that's the UK one, would be 12 o'clock, 4 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. for America, or Europe 1 p.m. So that's what that one's, I kind of think 12, that last one, 12 o'clock, 4 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., European 1 p.m. That's one time frame. And then the second time we run it, which will be on the second Tuesday, would be more for the US people. I'm hoping this will be a bit better for the US people, so they have a lunchtime one, because it's a bit early in the morning for America. So the first one is more for the UK lunchtime, and the second one is more for America lunchtime. But what that means is people in the UK can still do it because it's 7 or 8 o'clock in the UK, but it gives the American people who want to join a bit better of a time frame. So the one I was favouring was UK 7 p.m. is So this is Pacific, Central and Eastern is 11, 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and Europe would be 8 p.m. So it's 1 hour ahead. So if anyone has any preferences, can you write it in the chat box? I'm just trying to gain sort of an idea of what timings people prefer, so that I can try and sort of make as many people happy with the timings. I know I can't make everyone happy with the timings, but if you're interested in these half-an-hour meditations, Tuesdays, these are the timings that I'm suggesting to try and make everyone a bit happy. Okay, thanks, Bill. That's great. Yeah. So any comments in the chat box about timings would be great. Okay. So I'll have a look at that afterwards. So, all right. So, I will be doing other calls, by the way. I will be doing calls. I will be doing other things around power, but it's just this monthly call that is going to be the last one today. So, also, if you were on the newsletter, you will know that I promised a video about 2022. I have had people ask me, when am I doing the video? Well, the good news is I didn't procrastinate, and the video has been uploaded to YouTube literally just before we came on the call. So you will, I'm just going to put obviously the details in about on the YouTube, and I'm going to just post it so you'll be able to see it. It's quite long, obviously, if you know me. I make sure all the information is there. So it's about 50 minutes, just to warn you, but it's really, really important. And it's not something I normally share, because, you know, I don't usually broadcast my psychic sort of readings of what I get for the year ahead. I usually mention them very briefly, but I don't really sort of do a whole video on it. But this was so exciting and so important that it has to be shared, really, because you're literally, the whole of humanity is getting a chance to up level their consciousness. So it would be remiss of me to not share that information and how to prepare for that opportunity. So that video is uploaded as of today. I'll make sure it's properly online. So if you follow me on YouTube, if you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, you'll get an automatic notification. Otherwise, I'll put it on the website and I'll put it on the newsletter for next month. Okay, that's enough about me. So today we are going to go back to kind of a little bit more of the original format. I think we'll do some raising our vibration, but we will do some we'll do with the intent, have the intention of healing. So with the raise your vibration, kind of change the format, we were kind of doing a bit more group vibration raising. We're going to do that. I've got put some mantras in the chat box. So you can see up top, it says mantras for the healing part. There are 2 mantras that I use quite a lot. They are very powerful, very beautiful. They're in Sanskrit. So if you choose to use them, you can. There's nothing that you have to. You can silently repeat the mantra, because although you might sort of associate mantras just with meditation, you can actually use them for healing too. And the reason for that is that they raise, when you use certain mantras, they do raise your vibration. So the first one is Aham Prema, which is I am divine love. The Aham is I am. Prema is divine love, or I am love, which for healing is a great mantra, because, as you know, if you're a regular, healing starts at the vibration of love. So by stating I am divine love, you are raising your vibration to the vibration of love. And Aham Brahmasmi, I use this all the time. I use it for grounding and centering as well. This is like, it covers all bases. It's such a lovely mantra. Aham Brahmasmi means I am divine, or I'm the creator, or any version of that. So those are the mantras that I'm suggesting, but there's no reason why you have to. Oh, Alice, you were late. You didn't see my... Good vibes is what my top says. Appropriate for the call. Yeah, so okay, Anna, okay, yeah, I can write them again. So I'll do it again in the chat box. Aham Brahmasmi, which is I am divine, and Aham Prema, which is I am divine love. Okay, so we will do about 20 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, of sort of getting into a relaxed space, letting go of the mind, and just sort of becoming really present and raising our vibration. So I think most people on the call today have been on previously. So raising our vibration is simply focusing on something that you love, something that you enjoy. That can be the focus of that you have in your mind, rather than thinking about lots of things and letting your mind race off. Just focusing on something that you enjoy, and letting them, like the memory or the idea or the image of that, sort of really filter into a feeling, and just staying with that feeling that gives you, whether that be it gives you a sense of peace, a sense of relaxation, or whether it's something that brings you joy, makes you laugh. It's okay to chuckle if you want to. Or it just brings you a great sense of relief, love, anything positive. So we can do that, or if you choose to, you can repeat the mantra. I am Aham Brahmasmi, or Aham Prema. So we're just going to do that for about 20 minutes. I'm going to do what I would normally do when we used to do the healing calls. So we're all going to raise our vibration. I'm going to set an intention just for healing. So, and I suggest you all, if that's what you want to, set an intention. As you know, we set an intention in the present tense and stated positively, which means that we're not putting anything into the future. It's always in the present tense. So you never put anything in the future tense. So the intention for today could be something very simple, like I am health. It doesn't have to be complicated, or well, actually, another one you can do, I'm going to give you another one. So you can do an intention just very simply of I am health, or I am love, or I am peace. This is a very good intention. The simpler, the better. The more abstract is also good. But you set your own intention for what you want. Just make sure it's in the present tense. But one of the things I've been using recently, and it was because I wasn't drinking enough water. So my kidneys started to hurt. So quite a lot of not drinking a lot of water, and my kidneys started to hurt. And actually, when I was sleeping in bed, I used one of the healing statement that I created, and it's on YouTube if you don't know this, but many of you may be familiar with it. But yeah, I'm just going to give it to you rather than give you the whole explanation. If you want the whole explanation, the video is on YouTube. But it's a sentence which basically you can change whatever the two words that you want on the ends. So I am blank in the presence of blank, right? So when I was asleep, and I couldn't sleep very well because my kidneys were hurting and my back was hurting, and I tried changing my mattress and it wasn't my mattress. So what I used this sentence, and I was playing around with it because I couldn't sleep. So I was sort of having fun with it. And I used lots of different variations just to see what worked best. And so what you could use also in raising your vibration and for the healing part is to use this healing statement. So for example, I was playing around with I am love in the presence of pain, which worked really well, actually. It worked really well, surprisingly well. I am love in the presence of pain, but you can go, I am comfort in the presence of discomfort. I was playing around with, I am balanced in the presence of imbalance. So you kind of get the idea of it, and it's a really powerful sentence. It works ridiculously fast, but you might just need to play around with it and see which one gives you the relief from whatever you are experiencing. But it actually works really, really quickly. But you can play around with that sentence until you find what really works. So that's something to work with in the 20 minutes as well. So if you know quantum touch breathing techniques, then you can use that. If you do not know any quantum touch breathing techniques, then go ahead and just breathe deeply. Breathing deeply is good for your vagus nerve. It resets your kind of fight and flight mechanism. So it just really brings you into the body's idea of safety. When you come into an idea of safety, the body goes, oh, I don't need to be on alert all the time. Guess what? I can heal. So deep breathing does really work. It is very important. If you know the quantum touch breath, do that. If you want to try other breaths, you can try that too. So is everyone ready? Yep. Cool. All right. So let's go for it then. So something that I like to do to start my meditations is something I learned from this guy in America, and I really like it. I do an adaptive version of this, but I'm going to start the meditation, the healing meditation kind of bit, with just some words, and it's very simple. And I'm going to do that just to start, because I like to start with that. Okay. So closing our eyes. Giving the body permission to relax. Giving the mind permission to rest. Just coming into nice, slow, deep breathing at your own pace. Just allowing the body to soften. Releasing any tension. I am the moon. I am the stars. I am the sun. I am the air. I am the prana. I am the earth. Now setting your own internal intention for this time. I'm just going to add some sound healing in. And if anyone is sensitive to sound, please reduce the volume. I'm going to start some more sound healing, the divine name, 3 times. So if you wish to set an intention, a new intention, or the same intention, whatever you wish for yourself, please do. I'm coming now to the end. And recently I've really enjoyed the sound Om as a means of rebalancing and balancing our internal system. So if you'd like to and you feel comfortable, then please join me in a final Om to end the session. In your own time, come back into the room. You need to give your toes a wiggle, your body a wiggle. Please do. Bit of a stretch. How's everyone feeling? Thumbs up? Okay, nice. Very nice. Good. Okay. So for the final section, for the final time in this format, if anybody has any questions or anything that is coming up for them at the moment that they would like to speak about and get some help on, and then please do. Or any question on healing, quantum touch, spirituality, anything like that. Oh, before to get on to that bit, I should say, so I've been recording these calls when I haven't forgotten about them. And I've been recording most of the calls since we began. And I always leave, on the YouTube video, I always leave the healing part on the video, which people might think is a bit strange because you kind of go, well, why do I want to look at Sharon not doing anything for 20 minutes on a YouTube video? And the reason is that the healing energy is still present in the video. And it's not time dependent, and it's not space dependent, and it's not video dependent. So it's available. And I say to people, so even though I'm not doing the healing calls anymore, you can go back to the YouTube videos and utilize that energy. And just the reason I mention this is that she's not on the call today. She obviously didn't make it, but someone who I recently taught quantum touch to did do that. She went back to the videos and she used the energy to stop smoking. She literally just stopped overnight. She said she doesn't need a vapes or nicotine patches or anything else. So she's used it. So I just want to encourage you, if you sort of feel in the future, you say, oh, okay, no more healing calls, that's a shame. You can go back and use the videos. So I just wanted to mention that, just so let you know that that's still available. Okay. So yeah, so if anyone has any questions, okay, great. So any questions or anything they want to ask, last chance. Okay, Alice.
Sharon, what are you?
Sorry, go ahead, whoever that was, I didn't see.
So what you now?
You broke off, I couldn't hear that, sorry. One more time.
What are you doing?
Oh, Can anyone else hear that? I can't hear it. I'm really sorry. No. Okay, it's getting
Sorry.
cut off as you're
What are
speaking.
you moving to? What are you moving on to?
Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry about that. I got it that time. So, I'm still going to be doing life and soul purpose readings, and I'm going to still, I've got a new skill set that I keep talking about and not actually working with yet, but reading energy signatures. But the majority of what I'll be doing is teaching about personal power and working with people who kind of, whether it's individuals or with groups, who want to sort of change things. So maybe charities or organizations or people who want to change things for the better. Or it could be an individual working and they kind of want to do that through their work, and just teaching about the truth about power. Because there's a lot of, if you watch the video as well that I just recorded, I'm putting on YouTube, 2022 is a really, really big year. We begin given a really big opportunity to go up a consciousness level. And for a lot of people, that means literally awakening for the first time as well. So there's a lot of people who are going to have a lot of questions. And one of the things we will be asking is, how can we make life better? And how can we avoid climate catastrophe? And how can we make things fairer? And there's going to be a lot of questions. And if we want to really change things, a key part of that the universe has asked me to teach is teach power. Because if we don't understand it, we won't really be able to create change. Because usually what happens is people, the structure stays the same, we just move people around. And so every time you want to create change, it doesn't really work because of a lot of different factors. But one of them is that we don't really human beings don't really understand true power. And once we do, there's a real opportunity to create a better world for everyone, including sentient beings. So we've got a real opportunity from 2022 going forward, and I have procrastinated too long, and the universe kind of been kicking me a little bit to move from healing, and the healing is still part of it and purpose is still part of it, but to kind of teach about power more. And it's not just coming from me. I have these master teachers, and when I sit, they often will come in and give me information. So I'm going to be writing an ebook on power, which I hope will be finished by the end of the year, so that people will also have that framework that they can read. But yeah, it's kind of moving towards understanding our personal power and collective power, and how to use that for the good of all, for the betterment of all. Sound good? Sounds good to me. Okay, so right, Alice, you put in a comment in chat box. So what Alice is written, I'm wondering if my body communicates with my higher self, or is it just with, either your body communicates with your higher self and not just with yourself? Yeah, okay. Do you mean that in a positive way?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just curious. It's a curious thing. Like, I'm just wondering, is it just getting all of its information from me? Or is it also getting information from my higher self that has a better view of things?
So that's a really good question. Okay, so you've got mind, body, and spirit, right?
Yes.
So when we're talking about you, we're talking about your spirit rather than your mind, right? I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So mind, body, spirit. So the power level is body has a lot of intelligence, but not a lot of power. mind is more powerful, and then your spirit is more powerful than your mind. Then you have your higher self, which is what your spirit accesses for higher wisdom, if you like. Yeah. So you're much like everything else with spirit, as in outside of us, higher wisdom. You have to kind of ask for it. You usually have to kind of ask for it in order for it to kind of come through, because your body, even if it could hear your higher self, right, has a gatekeeper, which is your mind. So your body has loads of intelligence. It knows what it needs to do. It knows what it wants to look like. It kind of has like that intelligence within itself, but it
has lots of awareness. Yeah, it's like aware of everything around me. Like it's really, really groundedly aware.
Right, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that doesn't come from your senses? You're saying you think that's coming from your higher self?
I'm just wondering. I'm just like, it's got all this information, and does it kind of access the higher self to say, hey, what's your view? Or does it just say, well, I can, I can feel I can feel everything around me. I can feel, senses that we don't even identify yet, and all that stuff. But it doesn't really check in to see if it's helpful or not helpful, or, it's just taking it all in, it seems.
Right. So
without a,
okay.
without a barrier. Yeah.
So what I would say is that it doesn't really, so it sounds like, so your body is kind of like the densest part of us, right?
Right.
It's got a denseness to it. So
yes.
And we've been given basic senses that we usually bring all the information through. So if you're bringing in information more than your average senses, that kind of is like an expansion outside of the normal remit, right? So that whether it's spirit or higher self is kind of it's kind of the same but different. so if you're experiencing something that is bigger or more expanded than your normal senses, then that's a good sign, if you like, that you have access to more than just the senses, the basic senses that we have. Whether or not it needs filtering, that is your mind may decide, I don't like this, and will try and start to filter it out. But by and of itself, is it not an enjoyable thing?
Well, let's say you walk into a room and all the hairs on your arms start to raise, and you can feel that there was, let's say people had just had an argument, or sometimes you just walk into a place and who knows, maybe somebody would have been killed there or something like that. You just feel, ooh, or good, or whichever, but your body is actually reacting to all that without having any information other than you walked into the room.
Okay, so that's slightly, okay, so I see where you're going with that. So, okay, in that case, that is more a simple suggestion of boundaries, energetic boundaries. So if you're empathetic and you're picking up things that are, someone had an argument, that's energetic, right? You're picking it up, right, and your body is responding to it. Now, if you walked into a room and every time you walked into a room you just felt love, that would be lovely, right? But we live amongst humans, so that's not going to happen, right? so people who are empathetic and have this kind of access to things outside of the basic senses, it's a gift until it feels like it's not. And the reason it feels like it's not is we say, well, I don't want to know if someone's died in this room. I don't want to know if someone's had an argument here. I don't want to pick up that bad feeling. That's why we have energetic boundaries, because people who are super empathetic are going to pick stuff up. And then what's going to happen is, like, we're a little bit like Velcro. We pick it up and it rubs up against us and we take it away with us, right? And we don't really want that to happen, because then you have to do all this cleansing and clearing your energy. And really all you did was walk into a room. So it's fine to notice it, but you need to have an energetic boundary so that you don't pick it up. Now, it is a gift that you have, right? Empathy is a gift. But there's a lot of very empathetic people who can't control, because they haven't got a boundary, they can't control what they pick up, right? So I always say to people, like, I'm an empath, I can pick up on quite a lot of stuff. I just kind of switch it off when I don't want it.
I'm just wondering how my body picked it up. My body's picking it up from my energy then. Like, something happened in the room, and then I get that message energetically, and then it's filtering to my body, and then my body's got all these, goosebumps.
Yeah,
that's kind of how it goes.
Picks up on the energy, and then you picked up on the energy, and that energy is negative, it's not positive, and your body is responding as if it's danger to you. That's why it kind of picks up on and that's why you're getting a physical response to it.
Okay, so it goes like in that direction then. Okay.
So, okay, maybe I'm not explaining it very well. So your body is a tool, right? Your mind is also a tool, right? The origin of everything is spirit, right? Now, whether you say higher spirit, higher knowing, or God, or whatever, or whatever, wherever you pick it up from, to me, I just all lump it all together. It doesn't really matter kind of where it comes from. It's all coming from spirit, which is all sourced from the same place. And then your mind is there as a tool to look after you and to make sure you try and keep your body from dying, preferably, right? It's there as a safety mechanism, and your body is there for you to enjoy yourself and have fun with, right? So despite the fact that there are many areas of life where they say the body comes first, I personally disagree with that. I personally do disagree with that. Energy comes first, always, which comes from spirit. That's the way I would describe it. And then it filters into and then the mind and the body then react to it. So it's a perception that you're picking up energetically, and then your body is responding to that.
My body's reacting, even though it feels like it's the other way around. Okay.
Well, that's just that's how I would describe it. So for example, in trauma therapy, right, if you go to some of the top trauma therapists in the world, they will say that the body reacts first, right? The body is the one that reacts. I disagree with that. And they say you can't heal anything using anything other than the body. But what they describe is actually energetic, but they refuse to talk about energy. It's actually energetically what they're resolving, but they think it's easier to say it's the body. It's easier to talk about the body. It's easier to move the body. It's easier to say it's your nervous system reacting, when really it's energy being perceived, and then your body reacts to that.
Right.
Okay. That's how I perceive it. Many people I'm sure would disagree with me. And they're free to disagree with me. But
right.
Because the nervous system and the mind have built-in protection systems. So your body is responding to something and it's trying to protect you. Mm-hmm. The hairs on your arm go up as a warning. There's something.
Or your heart races.
Yeah. So but it's actually, if there's not somebody standing there with a knife in front of you, it's energetic. You're picking up on the energy because it's not actually there currently. So your body can't respond because there's nothing there for your body to respond to, and it doesn't kind of respond to that kind of thing. That's how I look at it.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, it does. It does.
Okay, right. So if there's no more questions, I promised I would finish on time. As it's the last ever call, I'm going to finish on time. Hallelujah. It's a miracle. So thanks everyone for coming. Hopefully you'll join me for the kind of the new versions that I'll be sort of offering out shortly. It'll probably be November before I start the half an hour meditations. And hopefully the time suit. I can always adjust it in the first few weeks if people saying timings don't really work. But yeah, thanks everyone for coming. And I hope you enjoyed the last call. And
Thank you for having them organized and doing them.
Sorry, say that again.
Thank you for organizing them and inviting us to them.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. All right. That's us for today. Thanks, everyone.
Have a nice evening.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.